Well guys, Nijisanji is in trouble yet again, but it's not what you think. This involves fresh news from Japan that doesn't just concern Nijisanji, but the VTubing industry as a whole. It's about this music producer, a pervert of the weirdest kind, who had produced a huge number of Nijisanji songs with their VTubers. A whistleblower working for him leaked the fact that he not only doxed some of Nijisanji's top talent when they visited him in the studio, snapping pictures of their faces, but then he made fun of them while sharing them to other people. I wish things ended here, but no, this guy is next level creepy. This dude would dig through the trash in his studio to find tissues used by VTuber talents so that he could share them with his friends. But that's not even the worst accusation here. There are images of him spiking a drink with a substance before handing it to a VTuber, and that substance has already been classified by the Japanese government as dangerous. It is completely illegal to use and distribute on Japanese soil. The VTubing industry is imploding and Japanese internet is absolutely losing its mind. So buckle up, this is gonna be a rough one. Let's talk about it. So as you can see here, I always show this in Nijisanji videos, the parent company of Nijisanji, Anycolor, has been having a rough time with its stock price. And I mean, there's no surprise over this. This year has been really rough on its public relations management. Their reputation is in absolute shambles, especially globally. This right here is when things started to really take a nosedive and continued downwards as they were wrestling with the fact that one of their most beloved English talents tried to end her existence on this planet twice, blaming the company's internal toxic work culture. However, what a lot of people don't talk about is their financials. Alright, I finally get to use my master's degree for something. This right here is the balance sheet of Nijisanji's parent company, Anycolor. This reveals every single aspect of a company's financials. How much money they owe, the value of their buildings, their assets, how much it costs to run the company's operations, pretty much everything. If we scroll down to the end of the balance sheet, we see the one stat that matters the most, net profit. This is how much a company has made after all the taxes they owe, the debts, any of the stuff that they have to pay off. A company can have high revenue but a negative net profit. That means that their costs outweigh how much money they're making. But here, not only is it positive, but for the period of January to April, they made more money in 2024 than they did in 2023, and it's a noticeable positive difference. And you might be confused, wondering how. Well, it's simple. It's a one-word answer: Japan. VTubing started in Japan, and it's still the main part of the world where it's consumed. And you know what? Japan actually still likes Nijisanji. In fact, without Japan, they would go bankrupt. They would not exist anymore. This is why, when one of, if not the biggest drama YouTuber in Japan made this tweet right here, it was an extremely big deal. As you can see, 26 million views, a lot of attention on this post. Here's what the drama YouTuber by the name of Kore had to say. "We will report violations committed by those involved with the VTuber agency Nijisanji. The damage mainly involved secretly recording the VTubers who operate while hiding their faces while they are at work and disseminating the footage to third parties. He also sends her messages making fun of her appearance." Yeah, this is badly translated. The creep pretty much was taking pictures of these VTubers without them knowing and then sending them to his friends to make fun of their appearances. Terrible. And then continues, "The mere existence of people like this in this industry will only increase the number of victims, and since the VTuber herself is unaware that she is being secretly filmed, at the whistleblower's request, the footage will be made public on a live broadcast at 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, September 1st. And as you can see, there are images attached here of those victims, with blurred faces of course, showing some of the messages that were sent here to this person's friends. For Japan, this is one of the biggest scandals you can imagine. Not only was this tweet implying that Nijisanji's internal staff was behind this was also threatening Nijisanji's reputation in their home turf on Japanese soil. But to really understand the gravity of the situation, you have to understand the fact that the VTubing industry in Japan has very specific taboos. And this mostly revolves around the idea that a VTuber's privacy is sacred like a religion. They're genuinely seen as virtual beings, and to break that immersion is a sin of the highest level. So Nijisanji was being accused of committing the biggest crime conceivable against their own talent. As you can see, that's a massive accusation because if it were to be true, they can kiss their business in Japan goodbye. And it was what Korekore was implying in his tweet, that Nijisanji's staff was doing this. Everyone waited with bated breath for this live stream to start, with over 10,000 people waiting and over 150,000 concurrent viewers watching it while it was being streamed. It almost has 1 million views and half the world is barely still waking up. While many were concerned about Nijisanji having a hand in this, they were mostly concerned about the safety of their favorite VTubers, their favorite idols. That's what mattered the most. The live stream was 3 hours long, but don't worry, he didn't just cover this, he covered multiple news stories. The segment we're interested in is around 30 to 40 minutes, so I'm going to sum it up for you. Here we go. He starts off by giving context. This is about a mixer, right? Otherwise known as a music producer in the West. And these are some of the things that he worked on with Nijisanji from the period of 2020 to 2024. These are some very highly viewed music videos. And he was the composer behind that music. We're talking tens of millions of views. So it's a very big deal. This information was provided to him by a whistleblower who works at the studio owned by the person who is guilty in all this. A music producer by the name of YAB. This is his Twitter profile, and as we've seen in the beginning of the video, this is what this creep looks like right here. This is one of the many pictures he took of talents that came to his studio. As you can see, they're in front of the microphone. And these are messages involving YAB with people he knew, third parties, sending pictures of that person in the studio and commenting on their looks, sometimes saying things that are very inappropriate. One example of the things he said while sending pictures of these VTubers to his friends was, "Her face is 60 points, but her body is 100 points. Yeah, they weren't wholesome messages. There is a worrying amount of these pictures of many different talents in many different poses and so many messages commenting on them and their looks. Some of these pictures are more sexually suggestive as well, with a talent here laying down on the couch thinking they're comfortable and safe, and him completely violating their privacy. But one of the craziest accusations of this creep is the use of a substance called red spider, putting it in the drinks of some VTubers that would be in his studio. Now, what the hell is a red spider? Are we talking about a red spider lily, or are we talking about an actual red spider, the arachnid? When you translate the substance itself from Japanese to English, you get red spider, but in Japanese it's spelled benigumo. It's actually forbidden by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare of Japan to be even used or distributed in the country. This is from a broader decision made back in August of 2008. Where they made multiple substances illegal, and red spider, aka benigumo, is the first one on this list. And I would have never found this list if it wasn't for Ryuku Sensei. He helped me try to track down what the hell a red spider was because I was so damn confused. So massive thanks to him and his amazing Japanese fluency. Please go check him out. Here's the page translated. As you can see, it translates to red spider, and it comes in 2 different forms, capsules and liquid. They have different pharmaceutical ingredients based on their form. So in terms of capsules, it's sildenafil, and in terms of liquid, it's clozapine. Red spider will have a very unique effect on women when taken in capsule form when it has sildenafil in it. It will increase the blood flow to the genitals, which may help increase sensitivity, arousal, and orgasmic function. I have to censor these words, otherwise I'll get age restricted. The effectiveness has mixed results, but people believe that it's some sort of an aphrodisiac for women. Now, this is where things get worrying. We're not sure which version of red spider he actually used. But since he snuck it in a drink, it's most likely that he used the liquid version, which has clozapine in it. Unlike sildenafil, clozapine is actually a psychiatric medication. It's primarily used to treat people with schizophrenia. This is extremely worrying news, especially since this medication has a lot of side effects. Anything from constipation to fever to nausea, seizures, dizziness, fainting, rash, sleepiness, bloating, the list goes on. And even more worrying, this is one of the products that are theorized to have been used by him, called Red Spider, imported from Spain. I don't know how it got through customs, but it's clearly not really cheap. But the most unsettling thing about this is the product description. Red Spider is a colorless and tasteless liquid aphrodisiac that dissolves well in beverages and alcohol. It takes effect within 30 minutes of a woman ingesting it. They feel itchy and narrowed in the vagina, a large amount of secretions flow, and they start to desire sex. Guys, I don't know about you, but this is like reading the description of a date rape drug or something you'd use to roofie someone. Imagine how it feels to be someone invited to his studio to record a song and he offered you a drink, you drank it, and now you have to think, wait, did my nausea and my feeling of sickness the next day come because of this? This isn't about being a creep anymore. This is a crime. This is criminal. And there he was taking pictures of it like it's just a recreational activity, like he's just having fun. It doesn't even end here though. The tissues that VTubers would use in his studio to blow their nose or something would be picked back up by him in the trash, and he would try to give them to his friends. And so you gotta ask the question, how come it took 4 years of working with this guy and a drama YouTuber for Nijisanji to finally understand what's going on? Has there really been no one complaining about this guy's behavior? Really, 0 people? I find that hard to believe, and so do many other people. Look, here's an example of some of the songs that many talents worked on with YAB. As I mentioned, these are songs that have gotten tens of millions of views over the course of these last few years, and these talents have had to go to that studio to record. This means that potentially every single one of these people is in the danger of having had their privacy completely breached by this weirdo. This is why things moved very quickly, and many of these videos started getting privated. This right here is the Twitter page of YAB Entertainment, the studio founded by YAB, the pervert. Here is their website, and if we scroll down, we can see him right here. This is the guy, the absolute weirdo that's been doing all this. And if we scroll down to works, as you can see, most of the music he has produced, most of the music videos that involve the music have been privated by their agencies, most notably Nijisanji. This is a more complete list, and it shows you that they were very quick with this. As soon as these news broke out from Korekore, they did not take a second to reflect. Everything has been privated. One of the first VTubers to address this was Fua Minato, a massive Japanese Nijisanji VTuber. His tweet of almost 2 million views said this: "I'm sure you're feeling anxious and sad because so many things have become private. I feel the same way, so let's wait and believe." This is a big deal. There are people who listen to these songs every single day on YouTube and on Spotify and whatever, and all of a sudden they're being removed. Imagine having your favorite songs get taken down from the internet. All of a sudden you had this insane mounting pressure on YAB to not only talk about this, but to apologize. But interestingly enough, I'm not even joking, this was his profile and his followers before the live stream. This is his profile after the live stream. Dude gained 2,000 followers for being a creep weirdo. And he unfollowed like 30 people. I don't know how this makes any sense. Maybe people are just following to see what he has to say, but yeah. Another interesting fact that you probably could have lived your entire life without knowing is the fact that this weirdo is married with children. Some people scrolled back to see the fact that yes, indeed, he did propose to his wife and they've been married for years now. God knows what she's going through. Regardless though, things were starting to get dangerous. There was an increasing number of people who were trying to make the connection between the VTubers who had done a song with YAB and the ones who could have been victims. And by doing so, they were invading their privacy even further by asking them these questions in their live streams, in their comments, etc. At the same time, this wasn't just about one person anymore. This wasn't just about YAB. It was about people surrounding him as a whole, because he wasn't the only person participating in this behavior. And this tweet right here echoes this, saying this is an issue that shouldn't be left unattended without thoroughly investigating not only YAB, but also the surrounding areas, right? Sexual voyeurism laced with aphrodisiacs is just so damn shady. This isn't just a Nijisanji thing. There are probably a ton of victims. And I do tend to agree with this statement. You know, he had a bunch of friends he was sharing this with. Who were they? Were they in the industry? Were they his personal friends? There's a lot more to this than just one pervert. But as the Japanese internet, especially on Twitter, was on complete fire, asking for answers and doubting the fact that, hey, maybe this isn't just an isolated case, maybe all mixers are weird, you know? Nijisanji came out with a statement on the same day this happened. This entire statement was posted at 2 a.m. Japanese time, so someone clearly didn't sleep that night. Here's what they had to say. Reporting on infringement rights of our affiliated live streamers by external creators. Thank you very much for your continued support of the virtual live groups Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. On September 1st, 2024, an accusation was made that an external musician, hereinafter referred to as the subject, had secretly photographed the appearance of an individual who is said to be a live streamer affiliated with our company during an external influencer's YouTube broadcast, hereinafter referred to as the broadcast, and that the photograph was then sent to a third party without permission in a form that included defamatory language. There were also suspicions that the target has used illegal physical force against one of our affiliated live streamers. Our company also began investigating the facts as soon as this announcement was made on August 30th, and has now identified some information, such as when the photographs mentioned in the announcement were taken, where they were taken, and the victims. As a freelance musician, the target is involved in providing music to numerous artists, as well as recording, mixing, and mastering, hereinafter referred to as music providing, etc., and our company had also requested that he provide music, etc. In this situation, it is extremely regrettable that suspicions have arisen that the subject has committed an unspeakable act of barbarism, such as this one, which has hurt a live streamer affiliated with our company and which could even shake the foundation of trust between our company and creators. We will continue to investigate the facts, but in this case, we suspect that acts may constitute assault against our affiliated live streamers and violations of harassment prevention ordinance, and we intend to take firm action, including the possibility of taking the matter to criminal law. In addition to terminating the contracts currently in place between the company and the target, the company will also take legal action against the target for breach of confidentiality obligations, violation of privacy rights, defamation and reputation, and violation of other rights. So these last two paragraphs weren't translated very well, but in essence, they're suing him. They're suing the hell out of him multiple ways. They continue. We will provide adequate support to our affiliated live streamers who have concerns about this matter and will aim to resolve this matter as quickly as possible. Additionally, in order to prevent secondary damage, we ask that you strictly refrain from spreading any photos or information about this matter or posting mocking comments about this matter to our affiliated live streamers on social media or through the comment functions during live streams. In addition, regarding this case, there have been occasional voices on the internet alleging that our affiliated live streamers, managers of our affiliated live streamers, and other officers and employees may have committed the crime, but we are not aware of any evidence to support this claim that our affiliated live streamers or our officers and employees were involved in the acts of abuse in this case. So I think officers is just a badly translated managers, but they're saying we didn't do anything. They continue by saying, please refrain from assuming that this incident was committed by a live streamer or employee of our company and spreading false information. We are considering preserving evidence and taking legal action against these malicious acts. So if you're going to spread false info, you're going to get sued, is what they're saying pretty much. In addition, as content such as cover songs in which the target was involved and social media posts by live streamers affiliated with our company who are presumed to have received songs provided by the target could be used as a starting point to pry into the victim in this case, we have temporarily made the content private and deleted the social media posts. We ask that you immediately delete the content that has been made private and the list of deleted posts, as publishing them on the internet such as on social media will lead to secondary victimization of the victim in this case. So here they're saying that they will be taking down anything that has any affiliation with YAB, all to stop this theory crafting about who the victims are and harassing them further. They then end this by saying, we recognize that something like this should never happen again and that it should never be tolerated. In order to protect the physical mental health of our affiliated live streamers and allow them to continue their activities with peace of mind, we will make further efforts to improve the working environment for our affiliated live streamers, including reviewing the selection of creators to whom we order and the criteria for continued orders. So if Nijisanji is to be believed, they'll be reviewing everyone they've been working with up until this point to make sure this never happens again. In the replies, they have a link to their website with the same text we just read and another tweet they made 15 hours ago on September 2nd, 7 a.m. European time, where they clarify yet again why the cover songs got taken down, citing the same reason that, hey, listen, we're doing this for the sake of our live streamers, we don't want them to get more harassment, and that they really just don't want to tolerate any content done by YAB. They understand the songs hold a lot of significance and they will try their best to figure out a solution that will satisfy everyone, but for now, you are not allowed to even re-upload this. So this is them doubling down on the stance. Now, Anycolor's response was mixed. There were a lot of people praising them for being so quick with their response. But at the same time, there were some people who really didn't like the idea of having the cover songs being taken down, and others wondering, why did it take 4 years for you to reach this conclusion, and what kind of investigation did you do on August 30th that you could have done way earlier? This affected the entire VTubing industry, including the VTubers themselves, of course. This big Japanese Nijisanji VTuber, for example, is taking a break due to this, and he's not the only one. As people were still trying to process the gravity of the situation, YAB finally comes out with a statement in less than 24 hours from Korekore's stream. It hasn't even been 24 hours since the post came out, and it already has 10 million views. The caption reads, "We are very sorry for the inconvenience caused," and the main statement is in an image in Japanese. Let's translate it and read it. It says, "I, YAB, would like to sincerely apologize for the discomfort and displeasure caused to many people by the problematic comments and videos I made in the past online." Line is a very popular messaging app in Japan and just Asia in general. Think of it like WhatsApp. He then continues, "I deeply regret that my thoughtless actions have caused this situation. We would like to once again apologize for any inconvenience caused to you. We take this matter seriously and will respond sincerely. I am very sorry." So to say that this apology was lackluster and underwhelming is of course an understatement. The only thing to come out of this is just confirming 100% that all the allegations are true. This was his side of the story, this was his chance to speak up, and he didn't deny anything. But I don't think you can find a single person who was satisfied with this apology. It's like you handing in an assignment to your teacher with the minimum word count required with no additional effort. That's what this feels like. Look, the VTubing industry, in particular the Japanese side, is still in shock right now. And bear in mind, YAB didn't just work with VTubers, he worked with idols and all sorts of people, so this is a nationwide issue at this point. Many are hoping that the police could do something, but even the Japanese don't have very high hopes in regards to their own police. But at least Nijisanji is going to pursue him in multiple legal avenues, so let's just hope he gets what he deserves. Criminal prosecution aside though, Nijisanji have to definitely do better at examining who they work with. They worked with this guy for 4 years, and the only reason they knew about it was because of a drama YouTuber. This could have gone on for another 4 years. And I hope that they can actually support the VTubers, not just tweet about it, but actually be able to do it. I want to believe that's true, but I'm actually skeptical, especially over what they've done this year, what's been revealed about how they handled their global branch. Hopefully this guy, YAB, also gets what's coming to him because what he's done has been disgusting. And these are only the things that the whistleblower knew about. Imagine the things we don't know about. Let's see what happens. I'll keep a close eye on this, and if anything major happens, I'll update you. But thank you so much for watching as always, especially if you watched till the end. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. Mwah!